All right. So we are going to play with gratitude practice. Finding gratitude when the shit hits the fan. Finding gratitude when things are rough or when your energy is low. So the invitation is to take this in any way that feels good to you all throughout, and also to listen into your body for things to come up, for things to spill out, or for you to just be able to dive deeper and deeper into sensations and into feelings. So let's actually start with just a couple of sighs, like a big filling up with air, letting out a sigh. If you feel like moving around with that, you can move around. Just letting in some air, filling up, and then letting it out. And so the first thing, as soon as we even start, I think of with this breath is just the gratitude that we get to breathe the air, and that the air around us is connecting all of us, right? The air comes in and the air goes out. We feel the wind on our skin. You might be breathing the air that I'm breathing. We're all breathing this air of the planet, this atmosphere, what's inside our little bubble of the ozone. So tuning into that air. And if you're having a hard time taking in air, try to exhale a little bit more. Sometimes when we really let go, it's easier to take in more air. Yeah, Anna's here too. So we're just in this practice, Anna, just starting out with some gratitude for the air around us. And as I'm tuning into air, I'm also thinking of the air that's going in and the air that's on the outside. Even the fact that like my skin is breathing. So we breathe on a cellular level. We also are breathing through our nose and our lungs. Just letting in that air, letting out any kind of sounds that feel good and nurturing. And inviting in any movement with that feels good. We could think of the air filling us up and kind of giving us a little bit of levity. And then as we exhale, we may be coming back towards ourselves, also sinking into the earth a little bit more, letting the gravity hold us down on the exhale. So we might feel a little rise and growing on the inhale, and then a little descent, landing more on the earth in the exhale. So tuning into that. So sometimes when we're going through a tough time, if we can find things that we feel grateful for, grateful to, it's like we have these little beacons to hold on to. So inviting in any kind of momentary images of things that brighten your life, or things that make you feel good, or things that give you joy. So I can see one of my cats in the other room, big blob of a kitty, and just feeling into knowing that he's over there gives me this sense of love and gratitude, of this spaciousness. And every moment of finding gratitude is a moment of relief from whatever else is going on. Sometimes when I get into bed and the sheets are really soft and my bed feels so comfortable, I'm so happy to be in bed, and I can just be grateful for that moment. Even thinking of the gratitude for the fact that there's levity and then there's gravity, right? We have this lightness, we can tune to the lightness, or we can tune to the groundedness. Some people think that gravity is very serious and foundational, but it can also be very nestling. We can nestle into the gravitational pull of the earth, feeling what's down, right? We know up from down because our whole body can sense gravity through the fluids in our body, moving down, pooling downward. So maybe tuning to that relationship of levity and gravity, which we thought about through the breath for a minute, but how does it land in our fluids? Can we find levity in the fluid nature of our body? Can we find gravity in the fluids? Can we tune to that? Yeah, so, maybe it's the cats, maybe it's the elements, maybe it's your bed. It can really be anything that just feels like, yes. Ah, yeah, as I'm on the ground, I can kind of pour myself around. And as the water and the fluids in my body are shifting, the whole flow of my system is shifting. And I can invite in the whirlpools and eddies of the internal movement to start to shape in the outer world, or just stay in my awareness, in my inner sensation, whatever feels good. Feeling gratitude for my body, having all of this sense, these senses, and this awareness. And giving yourself a moment maybe to tune into your senses and notice what's coming online in your awareness. You're feeling grateful just for the internal movement and the internal awareness in my body. Really grateful for the fact that when I come into presence and sensation in my body, it's fascinating. And it seems that it's an endless wonderland to explore. There's always new adventures to be had in there. And if I come in with any kind of emotion or any kind of situation and tune into feeling and allow movement to bubble up, it's going to shift. So, this incredible capacity for processing that we have in our bodies, right? Allowing movement and awareness to dance together with the invitation to process anything that needs to be processed. Gratitude for the spaciousness inside my body, outside of my body. And then gratitude for my heart, my capacity to feel, to have emotions and empathy. And with that, maybe some compassion for myself, compassion for other people, compassion for creatures on the planet, compassion for the planet. Compassion for the capacity to choose between stillness and motion, and also to sense my tempo. How fast do I want to move? How slow can I go? Right? I could have gratitude just for being able to go slow, to come inside, to come into sensation. I feel like the gift of doing embodiment practices or somatic practices, awareness practices, the biggest gift of doing those is the capacity to go really deep into your own sensation, into your own being, and accept it, whatever's there, whatever shows up. So huge, huge gratitude to all the teachers who came before. All the meditation teachers, all the movement teachers, all the philosophers and thinkers, all the dancers, even the fitness people. Huge gratitude for all of that stuff, all of those bodies of work. And then for the lineage that I come from in my own family, my birth family, my family of origin. Feeling compassion for all the people in there, and also feeling grateful, even for the difficult ones. It's one whole pattern. It's not, we can't separate it out. It all belongs together. Even if we don't choose to completely interact with everyone in the pattern, we can accept that they're there and be grateful for the wholeness of the pattern, for the people that are expressing the different roles in the dynamics of the group, of the family, of our histories. And forgiveness for my own imperfections. Compassion and gratitude to be able to accept it and go, oh, that's what I did. That's who I was at that moment. Or maybe it's, oh, I didn't do that thing. Oops. I've been around a few people lately that really give themselves a hard time. And I just want to say to them, but you're such a miracle. You're such a wonder. Please be friendly to my friend. But I could also say that to my own self, to my own body, to my own existence. And you can think back to your relationship to movement or your relationship, like what brought you here now? Like what were the steps to here from either today or from like in the womb? Like, did your mom listen to classical music or did your parents like to dance? Looking back through the influences that brought you into this moment. Sometimes, like, it could even be something that we think of as a horrible thing, that we turned to dance or we turned to movement because we couldn't take something. It was too much. So we became movers or we became dancers or we went to the gym. Even that brings us now to this moment. And if some little tiny snowflake of a memory like dances into your mind, that's it. That's part of the light of awareness, understanding the moment and finding gratitude for all that's arising. Giving yourself time and breath and spaciousness to be with what is happening right now in you. So sometimes when we're in these practices, I say, don't let the story don't get too connected to the story. But in this practice today, get into that story. Look at all the stories. Bring all the stories forward if that feels interesting. And just stay in the practice. Be with it. Be with your movement. Be with yourself. Every part of that whole historical story, every bit of it is part of what brought you into this moment. Accepting the wholeness pattern and finding some gratitude for it. And if gratitude isn't coming online easily, maybe just equanimity, maybe just allowing, not judging. We cannot erase what came before. It's part of the makeup of everything that is now. But maybe we can be gentle with our judgment of what came before. Maybe we can be soft. Tuning into your sort of sphere of awareness, like what's happening in your awareness? Where is it happening? Is it in the past? Is it in the future? Is it happening around you right now? Today, let any of that happen. No need to push it away. Just give it the chance to be there, letting yourself processing anything. I say it sometimes, like even adapting to really good things, it takes an adaptation. Adapting to bad things, it takes an adaptation. And ultimately, we don't know. So allowing yourself to be in the space of accepting all that whole story, all the planning, all the future and the past, even everything in the present, without needing to change any of it, just letting it be. So we talked a little bit earlier about the air and the water and the earth. Let's talk about the fire. If you're in another exploration, then you can kind of tune me out. That's totally fine. Or even turn it down. You don't need to listen to this. You can also just stay in your thing. But the fire is like the warmth of our life energy. It's our spirit. It's our aliveness. Sometimes we burn very brightly for a short time. Sometimes we're slow and steady. Sometimes we're kind of dull. We could kind of look at the fire in our body as sort of states of activation. If the fire is burning very high, it may not be sustainable for a long time. If the fire is very low, you might need to really rest and take time, be slow. But there will be shifts in our fieriness. Different emotions have different sort of relative fierinesses. Our passion can be very fiery. Our drive can be very fiery. Our anger can be very fiery. We can scare people with our fire, being too intense or intimidating, too much. That's okay. That's okay for us. We can be all the things. Having equanimity for your own fieriness, having acceptance and gratitude for the life force energy that flows through you. Sometimes when I'm injured, I become very aware of the injured part. There's more sensation in that part. Or if I've worked out really hard and then my muscles are sore, I have more awareness in my body when I have that. So sometimes, like even being injured or having different sensation can give us a key into what that muscle feels like, what that joint feels like. So if we can respond to things sometimes just with curiosity and inquiry, like, what is this? This is interesting. What's going to happen here? It can be sometimes more gentle. Sometimes when we're hurt or when we're in pain, there's a lot of fear or maybe anger. And when I'm sick, I can be very scared of it. Oh, something's happening to me. What's going on? But if I just give in to resting and letting myself go slow, I'm getting a message from my body. Slow down, calm down, do less. It can take lifetimes to learn those messages. Yeah, so I want to also offer that within inquiry practice, you can question everything. If somebody tells you something, it might not be your truth. It might just be theirs, including with all the things that are coming out of my mouth. These might not be your truth. Take what feels good, let go of the rest. And if it feels wrong to you, it probably is wrong for you. So taking in, using the practice of inquiry to more skillfully navigate your life by going, what is this? Does this feel good? Am I curious? Can I lean into this? Can I shine my little awareness lamp on it? Or maybe it's a massive awareness spotlight. One of those things they use in the movies in New York City to make it look like daylight when it's nighttime. Maybe that's the light of awareness, some huge spotlight. Yeah, especially when things are dealing with your body. If people tell you, it's like this, it's like that, take it lightly. You know more about your own body and what's going on in there than anybody else because you're in the experience of it. And we have huge capacities for shifting and changing just by changing our own mind or shifting our awareness, changing our perspective. Squeaky. If you feel like you're holding on to an idea, see if you can let it go, or some kind of tension pattern or anything. Like while I'm in here, I'm moving around, and suddenly I'm like, oh, can I let go of that thing I'm feeling over there? Can I soften a little bit more? Can I give into the floor? Can I release into gravity? And sometimes when I'm moving in one area of my body, the awareness is spreading to some other area, totally not even in a completely different area. So allow your awareness to Move around in any way within yourself. Just noticing what's going on. Where is it going? And if you feel like you're on a pathway and you really know where you're going, go somewhere else. Invite yourself into something different that is unknown. And all of this exploration isn't to say have no tension in your body. It's just notice where it is. When do you need it? When do you want to let it go? Like we want to move through patterns of tension, and with patterns, like things are serving us to actually move. But we just don't want to be holding on to extra stuff. And it might also be like totally nonverbal. Your exploration might just be all sensation. I suggest to try repeating like the same session sometime on YouTube and see what it's like the second time. The chances are it should be totally different. When we allow our systems to be present and our awareness to be present and movement to bubble up, it's like the Heraclitus River. You can't, no one can step into the same river twice. No man can step into the same river twice. The man is not the same, the river is not the same, the woman is not the same, the moment is not the same. Just finding gratitude for being in the flow of life, being alive with whatever's going on. Yeah, when you feel like you've connected into a pattern, shift it around, change your weight. But if you find a place that's so interesting and engaging and you want to stay there, then just stay there. That's fine too. Yeah, I will say that the more you start to feel your body and the more that you do tune into awareness of sensation, it can be very jarring to be alive because things really hit you and you can't escape it because you're used to feeling. So, finding gratitude for anything within being alive is a great practice, right? We need all of our tools, our breath, our energy, our friendships, our families, whatever they are, the things that support us. Life, no, it's been my experience that there's no point when you're done. It's still going to hand you the next plate of whatever's on that plate. Just when you think it's all going smoothly, kabam! Or, oh, you won! But either way, you have to adjust to the new thing. So I'm going to bring that in and end the live stream. If you're out there in TV land, please like and subscribe. Share it with your mom. Oh, oh yes. Wait, I have to put my glasses on because my friend is here. Pilar or Virginia. You're there too. My friends. I love you. Amazing. Oh, my favorite people came to the live stream. Gratitude for that. All right.